Kong, hello
Hi,
po.
Kong. Good evening, Kong.
Hello, good evening, magandang gabi.
Ay, nandyan pa kayo sa
Andyan pa.
nasa Congress pa kayo, no?
Yes, ongoing pa yung budget deliberations na napaka-controversial na Department of Public Works and Highways.
Oh.
Yeah. Oo nga, no? Parang ang tagal
Oo.
nung hearing. Wala pa kanina, di ba? Ang DPWH.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Pero ma'am, binawasan na raw ng 30% no po? Yung budget daw ng DPWH, tama ba?
Totoo po yan, no? Hindi lang nafa-finalize pa in terms of priorities kung ito ay mapupunta. Yung percentage, no? For sure, meron mga mapupunta sa schools, classrooms, hospitals, yung ibang mga multi-purpose building which is actually serving din yung ating educational facilities.
Okay. Congresswoman, puntahan ko na yung pagbabago ng liderato ninyo dyan sa Kamara kanina, no? Nung nagbukas yung sesyon. Although parang ilang araw na rin naman na parang bulong-bulungan na mangyayari ito. Pero, Congresswoman, sasabihin ko na ang initial reaction po ng mga netizen dyan ay parang meron ba talagang, yung duda na meron ba talagang pagbabago mangyayari. Ano? Pero since kayo yung miyembro ng, ng Kamara, ay ano po ang reaction niyo sa ganung mga, kasi nagkaroon ng effort to change leadership pero ganun pa rin yung tingin ng mga kababayan natin.
Well, definitely maraming mga pagbabago, no? So, ang hirap kasi na, syempre may ibang naniniwala, merong ibang hindi naniniwala. Kaya hintayin na lang natin kasi makikita naman nila yon. But we are not saying this. No? Hindi naman ibig sabihin na yung pag-resign ni Speaker Martin, former Speaker Martin Romualdez, ay dahil meron siyang, kung guilty ba siya or whatever, it's actually a selfless act. No? Sabihin na natin yung totoo. Yung Kongreso, yung aming institusyon is under fire dahil nga merong mga aligasyon, no, ng mga alleged na mga sabwatan ng ilang miyembro, pero kasama rin na merong mga aligasyon din sa Senado. At kakibat nga dito yung Department of Public Works and Highways ay kung sino man yung at mga na-involve dyan. No? So, medyo nakakalungkot nga kasi syempre, alam natin, naririnig natin no, na hinahanap yung aming former chairman ng Committee on Appropriations na si Congressman Saldico. Subalit, akala nga ng kasi kami dati hindi naman namin na pinipigilan kasi sinabihan na babalik siya, nagpa-check up lang, babalik siya. So that was yan po ang nangyari, no? At sa pagkakaintindi ko is Speaker Martin Romualdez also reached out several times. Unfortunately, hindi dumating, no, si Congressman Saldico. At dahil dito, nagkakaroon ng maraming haka-haka, yung iba fake news na nakikita na rin, no, ni Speaker Martin Romualdez yung bigat na pinagdadaanan ng lahat. So, actually ilang araw na niya yan na sinasabi na kaya pa ba natin to? It's not because na marami, okay, hindi, sabihin na natin, merong ibang involved at sila'y mananagot, sila'y iimbestigahan. Kaya lang, dun kasi yung, alam mo yung heaviness in Speaker Martin Romualdez' heart dahil siya rin yung speaker ng 19th Congress. So parang he takes full responsibility at na kung meron man, no, kung totoo mang nangyari itong mga aligasyon. At para wala nang masabi kasi daming nagdududa na baka mamaya yung ICI na yan, maraming mga pagtatakpan. No? So that, di ba gano'n naman usually yung kapag may opisina na iniimbestigahan, umaalis muna no, yung mga lideres para mawalan ng tape. No? And in this case, he decided, no, ilang araw yan, kinumbinsi niya yung party leaders na fully support. This is for the people, this is for the government. Suportahan natin kung sino man no, yung mapipili ng mayorya at kung sino man ang magbibigay ng bagong mukha para maiparating natin sa taong bayan. And of course, narinig naman natin na nadawit no, yung pangalan niya dahil nga kay Congressman Saldico, mas gusto niyang harapin yun, no, na walang bagahe, na walang binibit-bit, no, na mababang kapulungan ng Kongreso. So that was how he explained to us. And of course, we salute that very diplomatic act of stepping down to save the institution, to give it a fresh start, and at the same time, to prove if ever, kung ano ang gagawin niya, to prove that he is not part of the allegations that are being put forward with regards dito sa flood control. So yan yung mga bagay-bagay. So medyo syempre, institusyon yan eh. Merong may, nalugpot, no, yung iba. Pero pilit na kaming sinasabihan na go back to work, focus on the budget, and be sure that the budget that you are going to pass is a budget that is expected by the Filipino people.
Ma'am, ako po, balikan ko lang yung backstory nito pong nangyari. Of course, ilang araw na rin po kasi naming naririnig yung possible changes sa leadership ng Congress. Pero kayo po ba, kailan po ba kayo nakausap tungkol po dito sa planong pagbabago ng liderato sa Kongreso? And paano po kayo nahingan ng mga ideas, opinion, kung sino yung dapat na pumalit?
Well, andun na rin to eh. On and off yung usapang ito. Kasi for several weeks rin, lahat kasi nagsasabi, no, ipakita si Chairman Saldico para matapos na yung mga ito. And unfortunately, siguro dahil rin sa ang dami-dami ng factors, no, we are not sure when he will be able to come back. At patuloy na nadradrag yung Kongreso dun sa mga aligasyon, no. Ang una kasi, ang sinasabi naman ng karamihan, that if Speaker Martin Romualdez resigns, baka naman magpadala ng maling mensahe, no, na parang mas lalong maging masama ang pananaw sa Kongreso. But then later on, nagiging na kasi siya, nuance ng debate sa loob ng Kongreso. Kasi yung iba, like kami, we say na, nagdesisyon na tayong imbitahin si Saldico. Okay na yan. Kaya lang, hanggang doon lang. At the same time, alam mo yung dami if you don't. I'm really sorry, pero ang hirap eh, ang hirap. There were also a lot of things in relation to the investigation that is beyond the control of Speaker Martin Romualdez. So,
follow up po dun sa question, no, Kong Garin, paano po tayo nag-zero in na si Kong Boji D yung magiging nominee po?
Well, unang-una, to be factual about it, hindi talaga siya interesado, no? Hindi siya interesado. There were a lot of congressmen who were interested for the post. But the sentiments of majority of the members of Congress was to choose somebody na walang ibang interest. Alam mo yung hindi maghahabol sa posisyon, hindi gagamitin yung posisyon for any future political ambition. And at the same time, somebody who can unify Congress. Yung hindi pagdududahan na tao siya ni ganito, tao siya ni ganyan. Somebody who can be like a throne or a light that will captivate all of us na okay, tama na muna yung mga awayan ng politika. Tama na muna yung sisihan. Tama na muna yung turuan. Let's all gather behind a senior official who is already a deputy speaker and who can bring the baton, bring the torch, guide the light, and tell the people, yes, we acknowledge merong mga hindi perpektong nangyari. We hear you, and we are with you, and we would like to deliver. So while we are working with our tasks in Congress, patuloy rin mangyayari yung investigasyon, at kung sino man yung mga madadamay ay hindi pagtatakpan, but they will be given their due right to defend themselves in the proper forum, and that is now in the ICI or in the Independent Committee on Infrastructure.
But it seems na bago pa kayo pumunta sa plenaryo kanina, ma'am, no, naka-decide na kayo na it's Congressman D na uupo as House Speaker. Pero yung mga lumalabas na pangalan na pinagpilian na pwedeng pumalit po kay Speaker Romualdez, yan po talagang napag-usapan ninyo. For example, sina Congressman Toby Chanco, although he was very vocal na ayaw niya.
Or wala talaga sila.
Oo.
Kasi wala talaga.
Everybody was considered.
Okay.
Hindi naman ito na kanina lang pinag-usapan. Actually, all the decisions fall in place. Kahapon, tapos na yung lahat. Pero wala munang nagsasalita. Kasi ang hirap na yung, sa laki ng Kongreso, we need to hear out every member.
Yeah.
We need to hear their sentiments. Yung bang nasa loob na walang media. Kasi sa totoo lang, minsan pag maraming tao sa labas, nagiging iba yung equations. So, dun yung may mga iyakan, heart-to-heart na minsan mga salitaan na eto ang sentimiento ng tao. Ito na ang naririnig natin. So, Sino ba yung isasakripisyo, no? It might become untenable. And then all of a sudden, actually the past days, maybe the past weeks, Speaker Martin has already been telling us, alam nyo, bababa na lang ako para hindi na maging magulo. And then the others were saying, baka naman talagang parating na si Zalti. But the Speaker said, whether he comes or not, I will take the responsibility of stepping down to give Congress a fresh start.
Okay. Kong Janet, so, tama, narinig namin may mga emotional meetings nga. So, kino-confirm nyo na meron talagang nangyari mga emotional na mga discussion behind closed doors regarding the speakership.
Several.
Okay.
Yes.
Tapos,
in fairness to Toby Chanko, he never signified his intention that he was interested. In the early part, meron mga bulong-bulong. Pero wala kaming narinig na mga ganun.
Yeah.
So, ang punto kasi doon is, at this point of time, mahirap, pwede kaming mag-away-away on certain issues. But at the end of the day, we should all be united in delivering for our people. Yung bang walang binibit-bit na bagahe yung leader ng Kongreso.
Yeah. Sinabi nyo nga, Kong Janet, na kahapon pa lang parang klaro na sa inyo yung mangyayari. Pero kahapon ay nangyari yung close open ng sesyon na mabilis lamang. So part din yon ng mga plana, hindi muna talaga kahapon. And if yes, bakit hindi pa kahapon nangyari? Bakit today pa nangyari?
Because there were still a lot of members who were waiting for enlightenment, no? Ano ba talaga yung, alam mo, ang daming pag-uusapan So, syempre, kanya-kanyang partido nag-uusap-usap, kanya-kanyang grupo nag-uusap. We gave time for, yung iba kasi gusto munang makausap si Speaker Martin Romualdez. And marami rin, no? Yung nag-usap-usap din yung mga partido kung sino ba talaga. Here is somebody who is not interested, but who is seasoned when it comes to governance. Yung bang akala mo mabait lang, chill lang, pero andun yung parang kamay na bakal when it comes to delivering things for the Filipino people. Yun ang naging common ground. Kasi nga nung medyo matagal-tagal na rin ito, na ayaw na ni Speaker Martin. But the common question of everybody is, sino ang ipapalit? Merong mga iba, qualified, umaayaw naman. Merong iba, pag ilagay mo, merong factor or aspeto na sasama yung loob.
Okay.
It took time for Congress to look for a rallying leader who has the blessing of the executive, who can communicate with the executive, but can also communicate with other members of Congress. At ang una-una nga kanina sabi ni Speaker Bogie D, ito ang telepono ko. Lahat kayo ay may access sa akin. Ayaw ko nang magkokordon, ang gusto ko trabaho tayong lahat, and I am reachable to listen to all of you. However, kung ang problema is with regards to flood control projects, yun ang mga bagay na wala siyang maitutulong.
Okay.
Because we are committed to fully and 100% cooperate with the investigations.
Okay. Part ba ng pinag-usapan, Kong Janet, ay ang mga changes, if ever, nagpalit ng speaker meron bang changes sa mga deputy speakers, sa mga chairmanships, committees, ganyan?
As of this point, wala naman, no?
Okay.
If ever mangyari yan in the future, siguro minor changes, unless talagang merong malaking problema na kailangan. But as of this point of time, we are promoting stability and unity within the House.
Kasama ba sa binigyan ni bagong Speaker D ng kanyang numero para talagang bukas sa anumang pagdudulog ng mga kongresista ay si Representative Barzaga na seatmate ninyo? Kasi kanina hindi siya
Kita pa namin yung video
hindi siya
nyo.
nasama doon sa meeting So siya ba ay welcome doon
Hindi,
sa... Yeah.
Actually, hindi totoong hindi siya nasama sa meeting. No?
Okay.
So, yung parang ilang araw nang nagme-meeting, no? Kanina may leaders meeting. When you say leaders meeting, ito yung
Okay.
mga liderato ng bawat partido.
Mm.
He was there, but his purpose was to talk to Speaker Martin Romualdez and for him to assume because he believed he has the numbers. Actually, kinausap ko siya ilang beses, no? And yun nga, meron siya mga advokasya. Kaya lang, yung gusto nga niyang kausapin si Speaker, ang una kasi gusto niya si Martin Romualdez. Tapos later on, gusto niya na si Speaker Bogie D. Pero medyo may mga bagay kasi wanted to discuss about budget, zero daw yung allocation sa kanyang distrito. But we were wondering kasi so far nakikita namin yung NEP mukhang wala namang area ang na-zero. So that's why
Yeah.
we're telling him, alam mo, may budget briefing doon, let's bring the discussion there,
Okay.
not on the floor.
Kamustang seatmate si Congressman Barzaga? Ka-seatmate niyo sa Kong Janet eh.
Hindi, actually, on a regular day, hindi ko siya seatmate. No? But it so happened that when session started and we were about to start, he was seated in the seat of Congressman Boji D.
Okay.
So I told him na, dito ka na lang, tumabi ka na lang sa akin. Kasi I think my seatmate is Deputy Speaker, sorry, but I forgot.
May iba
One
kayong
of our
seatmate talaga. Okay.
It's the seat of the deputy speakers. May kanya-kanya kasing upuan yan. So, sabi ko naman kasi gusto niyang maka-participate at ando doon talaga sarap. Okay, sabi ko pwede kang umupo dito sa deputy speaker's chair. We really don't mind. So, that's how it is. Pero syempre, marami rin siyang hindi pa, medyo may mga kulang siya sa pag-intindi pa doon sa parliamentary procedures. He admitted is new. So I was explaining some of the things to him. Pero syempre, we always tell him about proper decorum. And proper decorum means when somebody is speaking, kung meron nagdi-deliver ng speeches, hindi natin pwedeng murahin at hindi naman tayo pwedeng mag-ingay ng mag-ingay. Kasi that's part of proper decorum. He listens naman occasionally.
Pahabol lang po Kong dun sa bill ni Kong Laila de Lima, no, yung may bill talaga siya for an independent commission. Susuportahan niyo po ba ito para mas magkaroon
Yes.
daw ng pangil, not just subpoena powers but also contempt powers daw po?
Yes. The contempt powers talaga yung puso no ng kanyang panukalang batas. In fact, it was tackled before the Committee on Rules last Tuesday. And gusto ni Secretary, ni Congresswoman Laila de Lima na mapunta siya, I think, sa Committee on Good Government and Public Accounts.
Kayo po ba, ma'am, komportable rin sa mga social media? Abay, nakita pa namin yung mga videos ni Kong Barzaga eh. Nandun kayo sa likod eh. Nangingiti rin kayo.
Hindi, ganito yun. No? He has some special ways, if I may. No? Siyempre,
Special
ako
ways.
isang nanay din, ako isang doktor din. Minsan kailangan lang ibalanse kapag nasa session hall na at nagsisimula na. Kasi yung mga video na yun, ongoing na yung session na yun. But without disrespecting him, of course, I guide him. No? Kaya lang, minsan, yung kanina nga sinabi ko sa kanya, meron tayong usapan na yung proper decorum should be observed. And he agrees naman. No? Pagka minsan nakakalimutan niya, we remind him.
Yeah.
However, he's also aware. Sabi nga niya, parang he seems so excited on having a lot of cases now filed against him. So, ito yung mga bagay-bagay na siguro medyo busy lang lahat sa budget deliberations. But we really need to talk to him.
Yeah.
And align with proper decorum.
Okay. With that, thank you muna, Congressman Janette Garin, para makabalik na kayo sa budget hearing. Thank you po for speaking dito sa STL.
Salamat
Thank you,
po.
Kong.